Hello guys, please guess what is drinking Donald Trump? What's Donald Trump drinking? Please guess and comment. Please guess and comment, text. Write in the comment what is Donald Trump drinking? Water, coffee, milk, or tea? Please. Please. What is drinking? What's Donald Trump drinking? Please guess. Water, coffee, milk, or tea? Please guess please guess what's Donald Trump drinking? Water, coffee, milk, or tea? And write in the comment. What does the phrase Abraham bosom mean? Why is the year 1066 important in the study of English literacy history? The year 1066 is important in the study of English literary history because it marks the ending of Old English period and the beginning of the Middle English period. How many tales each pilgrim had to tell in the Canterbury? The owner of the tablet in proposed that each of the pilgrims had to tell 4 stories, 2 on the way to Canterbury and 2 more on the way back. What is Globe Theatre? The Globe Theatre was a theatre in London associated with William Shakespeare. It was built in 1592 and destroyed by fire in 1613. The Globe Theatre was a theatre in London associated with William Shakespeare. It was built in 1592 and destroyed by fire in 1663, 1613. Why is 1798 a landmark in the history of English literature? 1798 is a landmark in the history of English literature because William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge published a volume of poetry entitled Lyrical Ballads in that year. It is believed that the Romantic period in the history of English literature started with this publication. Please like, comment, share. Please guess what is Donald Trump drinking? Water, coffee, milk, and tea. Please comment in the write in the comment what is Donald Trump drinking? Water, coffee, milk, or tea? Please write. Why is 1798 landmark in the history of English literature? 1798 is a landmark in the history of English literature because William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge published a volume of poetry entitled Lyrical Ballads in that year. It is believed that Romantic period in the history of English literature in the history of literature and it is in the what is drama of idea? What is drama of ideas? Drama of ideas is a type of discussion. Drama of ideas is a type of discussion play in which discussion play a type of discussion play. It is a drama of discussion play. Drama of discussion play. Drama of ideas is a type of discussion play. Discussion play. Drama of ideas is a type of discussion play in which the clash of ideas in which the clash of ideas and hostile ideologies reveal the most acute problems of acute problems of acute acute most acute problems most uh, Drama of ideas is a type of discussion play in which the clash of ideas and hostile ideologies reveal the most acute problems of social and personal morality. Personal morality. Drama of ideas is a type of discussion play. Drama of ideas is a type of discussion play. Drama of ideas is a type of discussion play. Drama of ideas is a type of discussion play in which the clash of ideas and hostile ideologies reveal the most acute problems of social and personal morality. When did the restoration take place and who was restored to English? So restoration took place in 1660 and Charles II was restored to English throne. Mm, when did the restoration take place and who was restored to English throne? Restoration took place in 1660 and Charles II was restored to English throne. 1660. Which age is known as Augustan age in English literature? The neoclassical age is also known as Augustan age in English literature. Who are called the pioneers of English novel? Who are called the pioneers of English novel? Daniel Defoe, Samuel Richardson, Henry Fielding. Daniel Defoe and Samuel Richardson, Henry Fielding are called the pioneers of English novel. What was the national identity of W.B. Yeats? W. is an Irish poet, but though he lived in London for a long time. What's Oxford movement? Oxford movement is a religious movement. Oxford movement is a religious movement. Oxford movement is a religious movement. Oxford movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. What are the two cities referred to in the novel A Tale of Two Cities? London and Paris are the two cities referred to in the novel A Tale of Two Cities. 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 What are the two cities referred to in the novel A Tale of Two Cities? London and Paris are the two cities referred to in the novel A Tale of Two Cities. What is Oxford movement? Oxford movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. It was led by. What is Oxford movement? Oxford movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. It was led by. What is Oxford movement? Oxford movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. It was led by. Oxford movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. It was led by John Henry Cardinal and Newman. It was a protest against excessive materialism of the Victorian era. It was a protest against the excessive materialism of the Victorian era. What are the two cities referred to in the novel A Tale of Two Cities? London. London and Paris are the two cities referred to in the novel A Tale of Two Cities. London and Paris. Oxford movement is a religious movement of Victorian age. Religious movement. Oxford movement is a religious movement. Oxford movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. It was led by John Henry Cardinal Newman. The Victorian age, it was led by John Henry Cardinal Newman, and it was a protest against excessive materialism. Excessive materialism. It was a protest against excessive materialism of the Victorian era. Excessive materialism. It was a protest against. It was a protest against. It was a protest against. It was a protest against excessive materialism of the Victorian era. Oxford movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. It was led by the Oxford movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. It was led by John. It was led by John Henry Cardinal Newman. It was a protest against excessive materialism of the Victorian era. Who are called the pioneers of English novel? Daniel Defoe, Samuel Richardson. Pioneers of novel. Daniel Defoe, Samuel Richardson, Samuel Richardson. Who are called the pioneers? Who are called the pioneers of English novel? Daniel Defoe, Samuel Richardson, Henry Fielding are called the pioneers of English novel. Whose age is known as Augustan age in English literature? The neoclassical age is also known as Augustan age in English literature. The neoclassical age is also known as Augustan age in English literature. English literature. Whose age is known as when did the restoration took place, and who was restored to English throne? Restoration took place in 1660, and Charles II was restored to English throne. Who is called the father of English poetry? Geoffrey Chaucer is called the father of English poetry. Who wrote Utopia in Latin, since English had no pasties outside England? Who wrote Utopia in Latin? Who wrote Utopia in Latin, since English had no pasties outside England? Thomas More wrote Utopia. Thomas More wrote Utopia in Latin, since English had no pasties outside England. Who is royal? Who is royal dynasty? Who is royal dynasty was established in the resolution of the so-called or of the roses and continue through. Who is royal dynasty? A dynasty was established in the resolution. Hello. हेलो हाँ हाँ थोड़ा सा हाँ मालूम ये होता सर बाई नहीं हो रहा है हाँ খাওয়া দাওয়া করছস খাওয়া দাওয়া করছিস নাকি হ্যালো হ্যাঁ খাইছি বাই নেই করে হ্যাঁ না না হ্যাঁ না হুম শুনবে না 언제나 본다 하나. 놀려다. 아, 놀려다 하려고. 그러니까 이거 있잖아. 예? 그죠. 이거 꺼내봐봐. টেবিলে কেনা আল্লাহ সুযোগ দেয় কে বুঝলে কি বলে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ কেনা কেনা কবে 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 কোন শুনে হ্যাঁ কবে এটা কোন শুনে এটা হ্যাঁ কে লিগা এটা এটা ভালো এটা ভালো দুনিয়া খারাপ আমি আমি যেদিন সেদিনই দেখলাম বুঝলাম মিষ্টি জলে কোনটা লোকেটে পুরানো লাগে পুরানো শেয়ার হবো না তখন এই সুদনে যাবো সুদনে লাভ করে সুদন ওইরকম মধ্যে পুরানো রকম লাগে মায়ের সন্তান যদি মায়ের না চিনে চিনতে পারে হ্যাঁ হ্যাঁ কবে সুদনে করে সুদনে মা সুদনের রাহুল না সুদনের বোন যে দিছে একটা যে সুদনের বোন জামাই কি আর সুদনের বোন কি রকম আল্লাহ যেটা কওয়া লাগছে তাই তো মানুষের সবসময় তার দুঃখ থাকে না দুঃখ সব একসময় থাকে না ঘুরতে যাবা? ঘুরতে যাবা নাকি?
আমার জীবনে কোনো গ্রহ নেই, স্তব্ধ। আমি কবে মারা গেছি?
ঘুম, হ্যাঁ?
মরার স্বাধীন মরার স্বাধীনে জীবনে কোনো কিছু আসবে না। মরার স্বাধীনে জীবনে কখনো কিছু আসবে না। তুমি যদি ঘুরো ঘুরে যাবো, শুধু শুধু আমার নিয়ে নজর দিলে লাভ নেই, তুমি ধ্বংস হয়ে যাবো আমার নিয়ে নজর দিলে। নজর ঘোরা দিয়ে ধ্বংস। এটা অনেকে আসে আসে আমার ভিতরে কামড় দেবো, গান করবো কি বলা হবে? আমার আর ভালো গান
What's Oxford Movement? Oxford Movement is a religious movement of the Victorian age. It was led by John Henry Cardinal Newman. It was a protest against excessive materialism of the Victorian era. It was a protest against excessive materialism of the Victorian era. What are the two cities referred to in the novel A Tale of Cities? London and Paris are the two cities referred to in the novel A Tale of Two Cities. What kind of book is Milton's Areopagitica? Areopagitica, written by John Milton, is a prose work. It is regarded as one of the most eloquent defense of the freedom of press. What is Globe Theatre? Globe Theatre is a theatre in London associated with William Shakespeare. The Globe Theatre. 1798 is a landmark in the history of English literature because William Wordsworth and Samuel Taylor Coleridge published a volume of poetry and told lyrical ballads in that year. It is believed that the Romantic period in the history of English literature started with this publication. Areopagitica, written by John Milton, is a prose work. It is regarded as one of the most eloquent defense of the freedom of press. What is Globe Theatre? The Globe Theatre was a theatre in London associated with William Shakespeare. It was built in 1592 and instituted by Fire in 1613. Why is 1798 landmark in the history of English literature? 1798 is landmark in the history of English literature because William Wordsworth. What is Oxford Movement? Oxford Movement. What is Oxford Movement?